So we are going to look at Rawls' original position stuff today. Super fun stuff. Okay, so the original position is when we go behind that veil of ignorance and we don't know anything about ourselves, like our gender, social status, race, things like that, in order to make social contract decisions and things unbiased. And the intuitive argument is that success should be a function of our choices, not winning the genetic lottery or like stuff from history, from the past that we didn't have anything to do with. And do they work? Hypothetically, they're like really, really great and would be amazing to use. But realistically, you can't put actual people behind a veil of ignorance. You just kind of can't. Like, maybe if you got amnesia, I don't know. And the intuitive argument, there's always going to be genetics and history involved in how successful you are. You can't get rid of it. So while it would be really cool, it's just kind of not realistic. Would the OP agents truly prefer the property-owning democracy over the alternatives? I think like a majority probably would. My hand's kind of shaking. But I think assuming that everyone would is a little bit biased, because taking away knowledge of personal things like race and gender and all those doesn't make someone rational or logical or anything. So they might look at all their options and say, well, I don't want feudal because maybe I'll end up a serf. And I don't want utilitarianism because I don't really want to be subject to the will of the majority. But libertarianism looks really cool because everyone can pretty much do whatever they want as long as, they're deciding that that's what they want to do. So, the veil of ignorance doesn't really seem like it would make people rational. It would just make people unbiased. And while that alone would be really great, I don't think it's enough to make everyone choose the same thing. Does this mean their preferences give us true insight into how we ought to organize our own state? Well, I think this thing from the hypothetical side does give us insight into how we ought to organize our own state. But I've been told I'm too much of a communist for supporting things like property-owning democracies and such. So that's my bias showing through, I guess. I don't know. I swear I'm not a communist. Maybe just a little bit of a socialist. Think through a political issue of your choice from behind the veil of ignorance. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put myself behind the veil of ignorance as much as I can. I don't know who I am. I'm no one. I just exist like as a person with no identity. And my issue is prohibition. We're gonna think about making alcohol illegal again because that's really fun. Okay, so what we know about alcohol is that people really like it. It's the most commonly abused depressant. It's a depressant, which means it slows down the functioning of your nervous system. We also know that according to the CDC, Center for Disease Control, it caused about 88,000 deaths annually. That's a lot of deaths, preventable deaths. And the symptoms of withdrawal alone can kill you if your body is used to a certain amount of alcohol in your system. So even if with knowledge of myself I own some kind of alcohol company, without knowledge of myself, because I am ignorant, just like any other highly addictive, incredibly dangerous drug, alcohol should be illegal. Of course.